about a nice cup of liberty? Get some! Get some!
Helldivers 2 comes in hot with frantic energy and fantastic co-op gameplay, where you'll be dropping bombs, destroying alien eggs, and of course, watching patriotic ads.
Become part of an elite peacekeeping force!
This game has it all. It also left us a lot of hilarious moments born from accidental deaths, which will happen quite a lot even with the best intentions. The game builds on the foundation made by its 2015 predecessor, from a top-down shooter to a full-blown third-person shooter. Of course, with such a big change comes with a whole chunk of new features as well, setting the stage for players to enjoy bug-blasting gameplay in the name of democracy and freedom. So join us here today at Game 8 as we dive back into the depths of hell with Helldivers 2. As you can see, the sequel is still as chaotic and still as fun as the first game. But Helldivers 2 doesn't exactly have a story to tell. It's mostly just about an elite force from Super Earth consisting of freedom fighters asking you to enlist and help spread democracy in the solar system. And it's kinda okay this way, where it leans more into the parody of enlisting in the military, rather than having some sort of plot that takes itself too seriously.
You could be next.
This premise over plot approach really makes you feel like you're just some sort of expendable asset to the Super Earth elites, as you could respawn with the resources you're provided in the game. But other than that, Helldivers 2 is pretty much a gameplay first type of deal. Helldivers has always nailed that feeling of getting overwhelmed as players deal with dozens and dozens of hordes. And what better way to blast these hordes into oblivion than with airstrikes and explosions? Having different unlockable items can lead to a lot of loadout options to suit your playstyle. You fancy having different sentries to cover your flank? Sure, go ahead. How about calling in 4 different airstrikes? Absolutely. Players are definitely gonna enjoy wreaking havoc all the way through. It's a game that allows you to go wild with the amount of options you have, but you do have to grind for them first. From a mission standpoint, it's still largely similar to the first game. You're still gonna be choosing from a list of missions with various difficulty levels and objectives, then get dropped into the fray from a landing zone of your choice. Most of the missions have a time limit, so you can accomplish these immediately or aim to complete all the side objectives included in the mission. Of course, doing so will get you more rewards at the cost of taking more time to complete the mission. The game's transition to third-person perspective and the occasional first-person with aim-down sights can mean that you won't commit accidental deaths as before. This isn't to say that the game doesn't have friendly fire or even self-inflicted damage, but that's part of the fun. With the perspective change, team killing is unlikely to happen. Well, most of the time. This POV change also allows players to play a different way, however, some movement options do feel clunky at times.
Oh no!
The diving mechanic can be awkward to use. Instead of helping you in certain situations, it can be an ineffective way to move yourself out of harm's way. Even with all of these additions, the game is no stranger to a buggy release date. At launch, we experienced multiple crashes, such as accessing the in-game armory or when joining lobbies on quick play and private lobbies. There's also the issue of its anti-cheat software and Protect Game Guard, which may put people off. But it could be here because the game also features a Battle Pass system which offers different weapons, stratagems, and cosmetics. So yeah, Helldivers 2 does have a live service model that allows players to choose their rewards with some restrictions. Also, there are now new armor types in the sequel, which is now a necessary equipment as opposed to it just being a cosmetic feature in the original. Essentially, the bigger focus of the Battle Pass is supposed to somewhat motivate players with tons of objectives to strive for, instead of just merely grinding out for materials or buying stronger equipment and weaponry. It's clear that it's a game that's focused on being a game, which is meant for you to have fun, and we think that's a great way to make a sequel. If you haven't noticed already from the footage we've shown the past few minutes, Helldivers 2 is a good-looking game. It's a far cry from the first installment, which didn't really have a lot of details to emphasize on because that one was isometric. However, this time around, you get to appreciate not just your personal Helldiver, but also all of the detail from the enemies that you fight, as well as the spectacle you get from all the explosions and debris that comes with fighting in a battlefield. Plus, it's always a good thing that a game runs really well at launch. There's a lot of options for you to customize and optimize your performance and graphics. The devs really leaned into the patriotic side of Helldivers, complete with a parody of enlistment and military media down to the music and the dialogue.
Use them or die trying.
But most importantly, the sound effects from the weapons and the enemies are great and really immerses you into the experience.
Work together to protect your future.
Helldivers 2 is a fun experience to have with anyone who might want to blast hordes of bugs in the name of glory. The shift from an isometric shooter to an explosive third-person co-op shooter makes a huge difference in terms of gameplay. Plus, there's tons of mission variety, weaponry, and even cosmetics to unlock. However, $40 is usually a pretty significant investment for a live service modeled game. But for something like Helldivers 2, it completely works. With so many live service shooters out there today, time will tell if Helldivers 2 will have something more to show in the future updates, or if the community supports it enough to keep it alive. So, we're giving Helldivers 2 a 7.8 out of 10. Thank you again for joining us in another video, so if you want to watch more of our gaming content, be sure to like and subscribe to GameMate News and Reviews. Also, you can check out the article version of this review that we linked in the description below. Again guys, this is GameMate, and we'll see you in the next one.